I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Oh, shit. I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
And I am all out of the bubble gum. Thank you for tuning in for today's live stream, ladies and gentlemen. The TradFi takeover is upon us. It is here. We're going to be talking about that and so much more on today's show. And we are actually going to be joined by my brother from another mother, Mr. Crypto Blood from I Hate Crypto CBTV. Speaking of, we're going to be streaming tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that and much more. Make sure you smash that like button. And we're also simultaneously live streaming on both Rice TVX and I Hate Crypto CBTV. And as always, before we begin, a few quick messages from the sponsors of both Rice TVX and I Hate Crypto CBTV. Information can be found in every video description. On my end, shout out to Monarch Wallet and Presearch. And here we go. And here is a quick message from the sponsor of I Hate Crypto, DexPool.
This episode is brought to you by DexPool.io. DexPool is an autonomous cross-chain liquidity protocol that lets you access liquidity sources from multiple platforms in one place. Their algorithm tracks prices to find the best deals and helps users identify the most effective routes for their trades. With no restrictions or hidden fees, you can execute transactions with ease and ensure a fair return on your trades. Register today and get a deposit bonus of 100 XRP tokens for a limited time only. Join the DexPool revolution for the highest decentralization and liquidity options in the DeFi game. Link in the description below.
Link in the description below. You better recognize, people, and it's going down tomorrow. It is happening at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. We will be live streaming on both of our YouTube channels for about 10 to 12 minutes, and then we're going to be taking a conversation over to Rumble because the conversation is going to be way too hot for YouTube, and it's all about CBTV, I Hate Crypto, and Rice TVX venturing into the outer space. That's right. We hate aliens. What's going on, my friend?
I hate aliens, baby. I hope y'all are ready for this one. Man,
It's gonna be a good one, dude. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. I appreciate everybody for joining us on today's live stream as well.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Make sure you guys smack that thumbs up. Got about 10, 15 people in the building right now.
And make sure you guys
Need
are
your help.
subscribed to both of our channels as well. That'd be
Yes.
greatly appreciated.
Yes,
I'm going to
indeed.
go ahead and get a screen share going on here in just a minute, but I'm trying to get situated, so just bear with me.
Mac in the building, Wisdom Bars, Ken Smith. Thank you guys for tuning in today.
100%. I'm going to have links. If you guys are watching on Rice TVX, make sure you guys are following Mr. CBTV, I Hate Crypto,
Yes.
Crypto Blood over on the Twitters. And we're also going to have a link for his YouTube channel. As you can see, we are live streaming on both of our YouTube channels today and tomorrow. Today, we're going to be getting into this TradFi takeover. Tomorrow, again, man, we're going to outer space, uncensored. Uncensored, people. That's how we roll. And if you guys are watching on CBTV, I Hate Crypto, make sure you guys are checking out ricetvx.com. You can find links to both my YouTube channels and sign up for my mailing list, as well as links for my Rumble, Odyssey channel, and other social medias. And you can also check out cryptoblood.io as well. So what's happening, my friend?
Hey, man, Todd Mack said aliens are racist, so we'll see.
The
We'll
Rices,
dive
man.
into it. They're racist.
Actually, now to come to think of it, I don't know that I've actually, and I know we're going to get into it tomorrow, but I don't know that I've heard of any black people talking about alien abduction. I think
That's
it's just
very true.
I think it's all the crazy crackers.
I think you're right.
I have to go back and try to figure that out and make sure, like, kind of look at, like,
no, I've never heard of a black person saying they've been abducted.
I know I've seen Spanish people, so it's not just us crazy crackers. There's other ethnicities.
It's everybody but the black folks.
But I'm sure that there is a black dude. There's a couple. What's the word I'm looking for?
I mean, bro, there's a black
Urkels. There's a couple Urkels out there that I'm sure that talk about it.
Listen, there's everything. Okay, everything is possible. It's about how probable it is. There's a black Ku Klux Klan member too. His name is Clayton Bisbee. Round of applause, man.
True that, man. I guess we get to aggregate the chat too, so it does show everybody's chat. That's great, man. That is sweet. Yeah. So I appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in. Yeah, you guessed it, Todd. That is from They Live. Todd was the one that was talking about aliens being racist. No, I love it. Hilarious. Okay, so I had put together a bunch of various different articles. Me and you had talked. We were talking about doing tomorrow's live stream, and we also went ahead and said, "Hey, let's go." I was going to do a live stream, and you said, "Hey, you care if I join?" Because I know you got a lot to add.
I was just being lazy today.
It's all good, man. It's all good. It's teamwork makes the dream work. And I mean, this is actually going to make it a little bit better to get your opinion as opposed to just 100% of mine, because we don't always agree. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Right.
The first thing I want to share is coming from a Twitter account at Miles Doucher. That's, I think, how it's pronounced. Not that I'm calling him a douche by any means. But he tweeted out that June 5th and 6th, we had the SEC files the lawsuit against Binance and Coinbase. June 15th, we see Blackrock filing for a spot ETF, Bitcoin ETF. June 20th, the crypto exchange that is backed by Citadel, Schwab, and Fidelity called ETFs, it goes live. And the TradFi takeover is here.
I found an article.
Dutcher? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I was calling him a douche. I don't know. Maybe I did and didn't realize it. This article, I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. When I was reviewing, trying to find some stuff, I thought this is a really good way of explaining what's happening. Because, and before we get too deep into it, Blood, I'm sure you'll agree with me, but this isn't like this all of a sudden just happened. Like BlackRock just got in a game, that all these players are just getting in the game. This has been something that's been slowly kind of ongoing. And once we're done talking about what's been happening recently, we'll put a little bit of emphasis on some stuff that has been happening prior to, that's been, showing where TradFi has been kind of sneaking their way in, if that makes sense. Would you agree?
Yeah, Miles, yes. And so this is where I disagree with Miles Dutcher, is the fact that he thinks that TradFi is takeover is here. No, my G, it's been here. Okay, it started in 2017. You guys were just had your heads between your legs, and were too excited about making 100x on a shitcoin that you failed to realize they were coming in then.
I agree with you both, because it was just really, though, recently basically it was kind of like taking two of the biggest giants in the cryptocurrency space and kind of pushing them aside and saying, "Here you go, boys. Here's your entry point." Because you're going to between the Prometheum BS and EDX and such, you're going to see a lot more traditional TradFi legacy system exchanges, and they're going to obviously get more favorability than what you're going to be getting out of someone who's not in the club that George Carlin talks about all the time.
If you scroll down in that tweet, you'll see Brain Yield says it precisely. It's publicly here. This was planned for some time, though.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying we'll go back in and talk about what's been happening to build up to this point. It's just really what's occurred this year has really shown what is actually going on specifically, because of what's the attack on the actual crypto industry. That, again, when George Carlin talks about it's a big club and we're not in it, Coinbase and Binance aren't in that big club. Maybe if Coinbase starts playing game, they might be added to the club, in my opinion, because, you know, they are the BlackRock ETF, which we'll get into. They're talking about using Coinbase to custody. So even amongst what's going on with the SEC charges.
Hey, but we're in the lunch house.
We are in the lunch house. This is so awesome. One, I love the name of the website, Milk Road, because it really does remind me of Silk Road. And
yeah,
I did want to take a moment before I meant to do this already, but this made me, because I thought about Silk Road, it made me think about this. Today is the 2-year anniversary of John McAfee's death. His body is, I could say, is still being held hostage by the authorities in Spain. I'm trying to get Janice on. There's not really much information she can really update people with. She's just kind of went black for a little bit. I think she posted something today, but I just wanted to bring attention to the fact that today is the 2-year anniversary of John McAfee's death. And I would encourage you guys over the weekend, today, after the live stream, check out the playlists in my playlist section, the McAfee playlist, and watch the video that I put together of all 7 interviews, unedited, with a bunch of unreleased footage. So you guys can check out something that's entertaining and got a lot of wisdom in it.
I've got a word of the day for us that's very applicable to today's episode.
Can you pull up screen share? Or are you just going to say it?
No, I'm just going to, well, I'll share. The word is rent seeking.
Rent seeking.
Caleb the Spy said they allowed the developers to build out the system and now they are taking over. And that's precisely what has happened, guys.
And the clientele too, because, you know, obviously there's a lot of people that, you know, in the regular world, that's not in our crypto world, that prefer using something like Robinhood and custodial services.
Yeah.
So rent seeking is the act of growing one's existing wealth by manipulating the social or political environment without creating new wealth.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they're doing. See, as they're coming into the space, Rice, they're doing it in a way that's going to allow them to make all the money and leave the little guys like us out of the way. It's not going to be a tide rises all boats scenario, in my opinion, the way they're going to try to structure this.
Right.
So I want people to kind of understand that, yeah, we may touch I don't know, all-time highs in Bitcoin again. And but by the time they're done with it here in the United States, there won't be any money to be made. It'll be all structured in a way where they are making all the money. You see, with EDX, it's not really even an exchange. It's like a clearinghouse.
No, it's like what you would see with traditional New York Stock Exchange, Wall Street. It's where you have a broker, a middleman. You have all these different entities working together, because one's a clearinghouse that gives liquidity. It's I don't understand why they feel the need to have so many disintermediaries. That just doesn't make any sense.
Rent seeking. See, they're skimming off the top. They're going to be skimming off all of this stuff, and there's no added economic value from it.
Right. Which is what they've been doing in markets. And then imagine like the rehypothecation, you know, like when somebody owns one of these ETFs once they're approved, how many people actually own the same ETF? How many people own the same stocks via these brokers? You know, this is one of the most corrupt things. And this was, you know, one of the purposes of blockchain was to get rid of these disintermediaries. And it's going to be an interesting fight to watch, my friend.
I like what Ken Smith said there.
Let me see here. The last one.
Yeah.
That's the definition of politicians, isn't it? True that.
Sure is. Sure is.
100%.
So, you know, it's an economic concept. I don't know how much of this you read, but it's an economic concept that occurs when an entity seeks to gain added wealth without any reciprocal contribution of productivity. Rent-seeking activities have negative effects on the rest of the society, resulting in reduced economic efficiency through misallocation of resources, reduced wealth creation, lost government revenue. I don't know, but you can keep losing. That's fine if that's the case. Heightened income inequality, risk of growing political bribery. There you go, Kenton. That's the political side of it, and potential national decline. This is where, you know, we've been doing it. But
Yeah,
now
it's just sad
now
to
they're
see
rent seeking
crypto being thrown into the
crypto.
mix.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
because
go.
I mean, the system is changing and lots of things are going to the wayside, and people see the future, and that's why you see like this happening. Mastercard, Bank of America, Fidelity, Deutsche. I'm like on a douche mode today. I don't know why. Maybe I need to clean something. I don't know. I don't know.
Man.
But I do want to get back to this little analogy here, because they do a really good job in this article kind of explaining the cryptocurrency and current environment that we're seeing, reminding them of middle school lunch and talking about how every table in the cafeteria has a different clique. And there's a rich kid table, which includes Blackrock, Fidelity, and Deutsche Bank. We also have the Kool-Aid table, which is Citadel and Charles Schwab. Then we have the nerd table, which is Coinbase, Binance, and Bittrex, and all the other crypto companies. And then there's the school patrol, Gary Gensler and the SEC, and they just roam around from table to table pretending to be the law of the school. You remember those kind of kids?
I love it. Yeah. I didn't have that in my school.
You didn't have like hall monitors and shit?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Some of those
I was
kids
never picked.
let that power go to their head, though.
Yeah, I was never picked to be a hall monitor. I was too rambunctious, man. I was too smart.
It's funny they're talking about TradFi filling the gap when there's not really a gap. It's just like kind of like
they're creating a problem,
right? They're creating an opening for them. It's not a gap.
Yeah,
because how many? I think I had it pulled up in a Telegram, my saved Telegram. How many ETFs have been filed?
I don't know, but I know I had my weekly crypto fund call, and we talked about Blackrock today. They filed like 560 something ETF submissions, and they've only lost one.
I know. And honestly, I don't know if it's quite the right time, and I'm not sure that it's going to get approved. I do want to get into discussing it and get your thoughts and opinion on it. 100%. But I did find an article, and I meant to pull this up and share it, but it was talking about, it shows, and I'll copy and paste it into the chat so people have it. Let me do that real quick. Throw that up.
New investor said, "Isn't this the reason for crypto? What am I missing?"
You're not missing anything. Crypto is meant to get rid of the disintermediaries, but the disintermediaries are not going to just go out without a fight, because they've been rent seeking for their entire life. And when you can't rent seek anymore, and you don't know how to actually do anything of value to be able to get paid in doing something, because you don't actually have any skills except for bullshitting, and bullshitting isn't really something that you can put on a resume.
Well, if you think about Citadel, right? Citadel is that company that I believe out of Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, but they're the company, Rice, that like had a year where they didn't lose, stuff like that,
Right. Well, and I mean, BlackRock is an extremely powerful company, dude. I mean, they're basically directing the Fed as far as investments, and the United States. They helped get the United States out of the 2008 situation, the situation that was obviously created on purpose. And like they're in charge. The last time I looked, I mean, I keep hearing like 10 trillion, 15 trillion, but the last I had seen with like the big number was like around 21, 22 trillion dollars, globally. And that's like more than the GDP of our nation. That's more than the GDP of the EU. So that's insane to think about how powerful BlackRock and Larry Fink are, and there's obviously something more to this. And then, so this right here that I threw into the chat and I'm sharing shows from 2020, of December 30th of 2020. I know this wasn't the first Bitcoin ETF that was filed, but this is Van Eck. And we have several throughout 2021. We can go into some withdrew, some launched because the futures ones were allowed to be launched, not the spot ETFs. And then the most recent ones that we see Oh, it doesn't keep up with the most recent. It just goes up to April of 2022 with Van Eck. So, I mean, we can see that it's not filling a gap, basically, is what I'm just trying to show people. This
Correct.
EDX thing is
They
not
created
for, go ahead.
they created an issue to bring a solution.
100%.
Classic.
Problem, reaction, solution. It's very much part of the plan all the time. So EDX, as far as I know, is just an institutional exchange. It's not for retail traders. Are you aware of that?
Yes, it is all institutional, which
Okay.
again, just
And it
depends on how
explains it
people want
here that it operates
Mhm.
like a stock exchange. Retail brokerages will execute the trades on your behalf. You don't do the trading, and the platform would just be there where prices are agreed upon.
Yep.
So, and it's only
Not
offering
free, so-
Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash, which we recently have seen a surge in those coins.
Look at
Me
shop
and you have been talking about
Litecoin.
Litecoin for some time, man. People are finally taking it a little seriously.
Hey man, it's gonna shock a lot of people, bro.
Oh, I know. We have that happening coming up. In the last week, we've seen, and this is when the article was put out, the Blackrock Bitcoin ETF, Deutsche Bank applying for a license to custody crypto, Invesco doing a Bitcoin ETF, Wisdom Tree for a Bitcoin ETF, and rumors that Fidelity is going to be applying for an ETF. But obviously, Fidelity was part of Citadel and Charles Schwab with the EDX exchange. So the next thing that I wanted to share is this tweet from Bitcoin Culture at BTC_culture. I found this to be interesting. Did you have a chance to look through the thread on this yet?
Didn't check out the thread. No, I just
Okay.
looked at the first tweet.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So did you know that the SEC is busy suing Binance and Coinbase? BlackRock and the biggest banks in the U.S. silently bought record amounts of Bitcoin. These banks are buying Bitcoin in Q1 2023 include BlackRock, Bank of America, Fidelity. What do they know? So as we go down, it talks about looking at the largest holders of MicroStrategy stock. So we can see that some banks have been buying huge amounts of MicroStrategy stock in Q1 of 23. That's the same MicroStrategy that is the largest institutional holder of Bitcoin, owning 140,000 Bitcoin worth over $3 billion. And you can see BlackRock has 6.24% stake in MicroStrategy, Bank of America 2.37%, Fidelity just over 1%. But combined, that's closer to 10%, getting close to 10%. And the more entities that are on this team that are getting involved, it's making me question MicroStrategy. It's making me question Michael Saylor, like what his
I never liked Michael Saylor.
what his intent was getting into the space, because it's talking about, considering there's no ETF in the US, buying the MSTR stock is the easiest way for the US investors to get exposure of the price of Bitcoin. And they're actually showing a chart here of Bitcoin in the MicroStrategy chart. So then it talks about, let's dig deeper. Bank of America have curiously increased their exposure to MicroStrategy by 48,800% in Q1 2023. Bank of America is the second largest U.S. bank with a MC of 233 billion and over 3 trillion. Is the AUM gold?
No, assets under management.
Assets under management. Okay, thank you. So now it says, let's look at the world's largest asset manager with over $10 million under asset under management is doing quietly.
Blow that
Bank
up.
of America. You may pull that up.
Yeah, blow that screen up so they can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That is interesting. Now, here's my question, though, because I feel like this is a bad thing for MicroStrategy long term. Well, because if other players are getting in, right? Like, with these different ETFs and all of that, if they allow that, then there's no need for a proxy to Bitcoin.
No, but you may want to get MicroStrategy's Bitcoin. So this, it could be a situation, because there's been a lot of speculation of how Coinbase could be taken over, like literally taken over, and how so imagine, like, just in theory, like you get all this hype about the ETF, you let the ETF go through, you let it go up a little bit, you get people really excited, and then you just fucking tank the price because you have that much control and manipulation over the market. You tank the price, and then it's going to drive the price of the MicroStrategy and Coinbase stock down. You accumulate enough of the stock, you can do a takeover. And
Boy, I tell you, man, you guys give these fools too much credit. Too much, Rice. Too much.
I know, but dude, when you're talking about a product that has scarcity like no other, so entities want that fucking Bitcoin. BlackRock and Fidelity and all those entities want MicroStrategy's Bitcoin. I can be rest assured, or they're working together in some sort of
my
way.
question is, why don't they just get their own ETF going as they're trying to do, and that eliminates the need to buy Bitcoin via proxy through MicroStrategy? That's the only reason MicroStrategies is doing well. Once that proxy has been eliminated, MicroStrategy stock is going to go to hell. It's going to go find Mr. Elmo down there at $12,000 Bitcoin.
Right. And then it's going to have to be that MicroStrategy in some capacity holds majority stock, so they have majority control of the company. That's what's going to be interesting to see. So that's what I'm trying to pay attention to, because it seems like they're not just trying to minimize what these entities can do. They want to get rid of them and take what they have, because again, like, there is no other asset. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's no other asset on this planet that has the scarcity of Bitcoin.
No, there isn't. I don't know of any that's verifiable. That's the thing. Verifiably through math. No.
You can also see that the 6th largest bank in Canada has purchased over $500,000 worth of MicroStrategy stock in 2003. Are they following the lead of the $700 billion bank that recently predicted Bitcoin to hit 100K in 2024? We explored the math behind Standard Chartered's 2024 Bitcoin call in the below. These banks buying Bitcoin will make more sense when we consider 3 things. Where are the 3 things?
Okay, next year.
The too long didn't read.
Presidential presidential year rally. Presidential race, I should say. Rally. That's always what the
Thank you, Manel. Appreciate the super chat. I'm definitely not paying attention to the chat. I remember when Bitcoin was 148, was that pounds? $1.48 pounds. That would have been a long time ago. How much did you buy any? That would be the question. Because if I didn't buy any, I wouldn't remember. I would have just forgot. That's one of those shoulda, coulda, woulda things. So can you explain, since you are more of a investment kind of guy, what an actual ETF, exchange traded fund, is for people that might be unfamiliar?
In layman terms, it's just literally a mutual fund, but in the version or form of a stock, basically.
Right.
In lay terms.
Now, this article, which I do have a link, people can check out.
A lot of
they could check it out in its entirety to read it, because it talks about different types of ETFs. It talks about advantages and disadvantages. But
the issue with ETFs over time, as far as market structure, is that it pulls a lot of money into the ETF, and the ETF is supposed to be buying those said assets.
Right.
Right. The problem is there's most likely a misallocation. Yes.
Yeah. Like, it's not backed up 1 for 1.
Yeah. And the market isn't really
like gold. Gold price has been, I think that with the ETFs and the paper trading of gold and silver, they've been able to keep the price manipulated and down. But at the same time, it's increased the overall market cap of gold and silver as well. So since I think the first gold ETF was created, the market has 10x'd. But when you have a 10x in like market cap, it doesn't necessarily affect the price, because but
it should.
It should, but they're able to manipulate things, and that's kind of one of the things that alarms me about an ETF. Because we've seen what happened with the futures ETF in 2018, that they had basically approved very interesting timing, because the timing of the ETF is what helped to like really halt the 2017 bull run and just put it to an end and start seeing the decline in price and going into a traditional bear market. Having multiple entities with these spot ETFs is going to give that much more control and manipulation of the price. And until it gets to be an extremely high market cap, which is going to take quite some time, it's going to be very easily manipulated by those who have money printer go burr kind of money available to them.
I have a question for you. So why do you think if an ETF is an on-ramp to manipulation for the cabal, then why are they delaying the advancement of those assets, those instruments?
Well, now we're seeing entities from the TradFi system coming in and really putting forth the application. So I think that someone like BlackRock will get approved because the timing is right for everything. Everything is like, it's just all been escalating. There wasn't a reason to allow for it, but we know, but I did it. I took a little clip earlier, just a little bit ago. I was trying to make sure I got this before we went live. And it's a clip from Mr. Jerome Powell. Check this out.
Crypto and digital assets in the U.S. has got a market cap of around $1.1 trillion right now. It's been there for a bit. Do you acknowledge that this asset class has staying power in the U.S. economy?
It appears to have some staying power. Of course, that 2.1 trillion was, what was that a year ago? A lot higher.
Yeah, it's had some volatility in large measure due to the lack of legal clarity, and so hopefully this committee will help that quite a lot here this summer with at least two bills, one on stable coins and one on market structure, and it'll be clear not just for Congress but for regulators, including Chairman Gensler, and obviously market participants, whether they're forming the ideas or investing in the ideas or participating in the activities.
I mean, when you hear stuff like that, I mean, they know that, like I said, crypto is here to stay. So there's nothing at this point that they can do. And when it came to like political leaders and important and influential people in the matrix world that exists, it took a long time for individuals like Hillary Clinton to come out and even give Bitcoin and cryptocurrency any sort of recognition just by mentioning it. Like when you have people like Hillary Clinton mentioning Bitcoin, it's giving it validity. And this is another clip that I want to share that I'm sure that other people have seen, but I think it's one of the most beautiful clips, one of the most best promotional pieces I've heard regarding Bitcoin and decentralized cryptocurrencies.
And then one more area that I hope nation states start paying greater attention to is the rise of cryptocurrency. Because what looks like a very interesting and somewhat exotic effort to literally mine new coins in order to trade with them has the potential for undermining currencies, for undermining the role of the dollar as the reserve currency, for destabilizing nations, perhaps starting with small ones, but going much larger. So when we think about this new environment in which we find ourselves that we've been discussing for the last some minutes, we can't just think about nation states.
So I mean, again, Bitcoin is definitely a threat, as you can hear and as you know. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we got involved in crypto. But if you can try to control it as much as possible, then you lessen the threat that it is going to bring to the system. And that's what's going on.
So they think.
Right.
That's the great thing about it. They literally can't control it.
No, and you don't need
somebody
like Deutsche Bank to custody your cryptocurrency for you. You don't. I mean, if you're one of those individuals who, when you ride your bike, you always need to have your training wheels on, that you can't put on your big boy or your big girl pants, and you need somebody to hold your hand, then sure, take advantage. But that should be a very, very small percentage of people. And I want to see that change, because right now there's so many people that don't have a problem with financial institutions custodying their finances, because people don't, look at the banking situation and how dire we are in the banking climate, and people are still not pulling their money out of banks, not losing faith in the banking system. They're continuing to keep their money in the banks. It's just, some of this shit perplexes me. What do you think about Deutsche on this? I'll tell you one of the implications about what they're doing.
Deutsche doing the digital asset license in Germany. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, what's interesting is when you apply for a license in a EU nation, if you get the license in Germany, then you can offer the services in EU. So it doesn't limit them to just Germany.
Of course. Share my screen real quick, because I got to do a quick roll call. We got some people in the building. I just want to share. We got Lee View in the house, Todd Mack, Dr. Moda, Mr. Sakila, Digital Asset Lucky, my guy Crypto King, the Hexicans. We got the Hexicans in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Shout out Crypto King, man. He was one of the winners of the Bitbox wallets that we gave away. And apparently, they had
hex on it.
That's a good question. I don't think it allows you to have hex. Well, actually, no. The hex ERC20. I think the hex ERC20, because it does hold ERC20s, but it won't hold the pulse chain.
Yeah, they don't want you to recognize the ERC anymore.
Are you a pulse maxi and a hex maxi now?
No, I mean, I love Crypto King, my guy, but he knows.
Crypto King's good people. He was the one that connected me with Roger Ver.
No, Crypto King's good people, and
I'm saying he's good people. He connected me with Roger. Yeah, that's how I got those 3 interviews with Roger.
Nice. Shout out to Crypto King.
Yeah, he's good people
in the house.
Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, if you guys haven't taken time to smash that like button, we would greatly appreciate it. I'm used to looking at the chat afterwards, because I run my mouth so much that I just try to go through the meat of what I'm talking about and then go to the chat, because otherwise it just turns into a lot longer of a live stream for people that are watching the replay.
I just had to show my people some love.
And I appreciate it. I'm trying to get better about it. I really am.
40 in the middle of the day. What are y'all doing? Y'all supposed to be at work. What is going on?
They might be at work listening.
You guys are crypto rich like us, then. I see. Okay, all right. Round of applause.
I'm not crypto rich. I'm over here struggling.
Yeah, he is, ladies and gents. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you.
Okay. So Mastercard files for a new trademark for crypto tools. What do you think about Mastercard, man?
Again, this
because obviously crypto was designed to be peer-to-peer, and you don't need a credit card to work as an intermediary middleman between you and the thing you're trying to purchase, the whether it's a store, an individual. So it's like the credit card companies know that they're going to become irrelevant because of cryptocurrency. So it's like, hey, why don't we just allow people to use their crypto on a credit card, even though they don't need to? Let's get them to do it, and then we'll get them to identify themselves too, and then we're going to be helping out the IRS and all these other government agencies and just handing over your information. And I don't get it, man.
I'm trying to think of an example from maybe the early internet days of companies or the government trying to reinvent the wheel when there wasn't a need to.
Now, you want to talk about any? No, the government never reinvents a wheel. They just in this instance, what Mastercard is doing is, they're filling a gap. They're filling a gap because unbanked was kind of fucked over, lost investments, and they have ended their services. And unbanked was formerly Turnio, and they were like the Litecoin card. A lot of these different credit cards that were being offered via unbanked as a white label solution, and those have ended. Now that unbanked, one of the major off ramps for people using credit cards or their cryptocurrency, has been basically forced to wind down, it definitely clears the way for Mastercard and its Engage program on crypto to offer crypto cards to the market. So that's a gap that's being filled because someone literally screwed over an entity that has been doing it successfully for years. And I actually reached out to a couple people and was like, hey, man, like, do you got some money to invest? Because there's a company that could really use some investment money. Like, I don't ever try to like shill investment money for companies, but unbanked, man, that's a company that we need around. We need things like that.
They're gonna get choked out, unfortunately.
Because I mean, unfortunately, I mean, until businesses are smart enough to realize that, because from a commerce perspective, you know, you're using credit cards. I don't know what the percentage is, but I've heard something like 3, 4, 5%.
3.5.
3.5. So 3.5% of the credit card fee goes to the credit card company.
Yeah, but then you have an additional 2-3 cents per transaction as well.
And they can make that same money if people use cryptocurrency through the credit card. It would be the same concept as using cash, so the credit card company is still making money. But if the vendor realized that if they just did it peer to peer, that there wouldn't be any.
That's why I'm saying this won't last
cutting out
long.
The 3.5%.
Yeah, this won't last long because you don't need them. And it just okay. Go ahead. Cabal.
You think people will wake up and realize it?
Yeah. Because they'll run into people like me who's going to say, "I'm not sending you money through Mastercard. I'll just send you directly. What's your address? Here's my QR code. Scan it. Just send me direct. No need." And more people. Yeah, I see. I saw one guy, new investor. He says he's a roofer. It's a rainy day. It's a rainy day here in Michigan too, bro. So I feel you.
I think it's clearing up here in North Carolina finally, man. It's been shitty all week.
Yeah,
been shitty all week.
So it's only going to last for so long, you know, before people say, "What am I doing? Why am I on XYZ platform when I could just literally, you know?"
Well, so Manel was asking about the ties with Mastercard. Mastercard and Visa are also two of the largest investors in the Lightning Network as well, if I'm not mistaken. Can you confirm that, Blood?
Say that again.
That one of the biggest investors into the Lightning Network, or two of the biggest, is Mastercard and Visa?
I had no clue.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive that that's correct.
Wow.
So,
interesting.
Mr. Sakella says the only true decentralized software will be what we want. The rest will be acquired by the big players or simply regulated out of existence. That's crazy you said the regulation thing, because I was actually just watching some random stuff last night. It was just talking about a lot of different industries, not even crypto related, just being pushed out of the United States because of overregulation. And I don't understand why we would do that to ourselves. Like, we would overregulate our industries to the point that the industries want to leave. And that's not beneficial for anybody. None of this shit makes any sense. And we're just like, and basically we're in the twilight zone, man.
It's very interesting here in the United States, man. I'm thoroughly confused. And tomorrow, guys, tune in. Bring that thumbnail up, Rice. Tune in tomorrow, uncensored. Even though we won't be talking about, you know, politics in the U.S.
Well, politics actually might come into play. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's no reason to talk about crypto though, because I don't think aliens invented Bitcoin.
How do we know?
Satoshi's an alien.
Seriously.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, anything's possible. I think more. I would think more as the U.S. government than. Aliens.
Well, who do you think the U.S. government got it from?
Well, maybe the U.S. government's
aliens. All of that, all of those circuit boards that they captured from those crashes back in the 1940s is what you have to credit our technology today to those incidents. But that's a whole nother situation.
UFO wallet, UFO hard wallets,
UFO wallet.
We should create a UFO wallet now.
Yeah, we might have to. Jesus invented Bitcoin. Amen. Hallelujah.
Well, Jesus.
So yeah, join us tomorrow, guys. What time are we doing it?
We're starting at 1:00 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube for about 12 minutes, and then we're going to take the uncensored conversation all the way over to Rumble on both of our channels. I've got it set up on my end. I've sent you the invite link so you can set them up on your end. So we're shooting for 1:00 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube, and then 1:15 officially. That way, it'll give us time to use the restroom, maybe smoke half a cigarette, something in between the YouTube and Rumble, and then we're just going to kick right off on Rumble.
Bumps in on your girl.
What's that?
1 minute, you nothing.
I didn't hear what you said.
Good. It didn't matter.
Something about a girl. Like, you can repeat it. Go for it. I'm not going. We're not moving forward until you say it.
I was just saying, give you the opportunity to get a couple pumps in on your girl. You know, in between the 15 minutes.
I need more than like 2 or 3 minutes, man.
Oh, okay.
I'm not Minute Rice.
That's hilarious, bro.
So when we were talking a little bit about the TradFi, because we'll go back to the original tweet, which that we were talking about from Miles, and the response underneath talking about that this has been planned for some time now, and it's been going on, accumulating and planning. So to back a little bit of that up, this article is from November 4th, 2018. It's Bank of America has the most blockchain patents, but it's actually going, but is it actually going to use them? Bank of America leads in the blockchain patent race. Now, my original thought when all this is going on was they were just holding on to the patents just to prevent other people from using these technologies, like kind of like patent trolling, I guess is what they call it.
Yeah.
And then I started learning more about patents. Per Reggie, thanks, Reggie Middleton. He started educating me a little bit about patents.
He just messaged me on Twitter.
What is this?
Me on Twitter. So this article is the one you sent about, the
second one.
This is the second one, but the thing is, it's so interesting, Rice, if you look at this, because he's saying here that basically he can't do anything because we're regulated, and the quote unquote regulators have said you can't. They've said you have to ask us before you do it. Hey, and by the way, don't ask. That's so crazy. So
that doesn't make sense though, considering how powerful Bank of America is when it comes to being in the club.
Yeah, he says the reality is that we can't do it by regulation. We're not really allowed to engage. But look here. However, Moynihan says on the trading side, we could do it. Our research team writes on it. So again, going back to the rent seeking. See, trading is rent seeking. There is no economic value to the broader community or broader society.
No, yeah, you're not doing nothing to better the world
at all.
No.
So you see how they're allowing them to do it on the trading side because they're all
but now we're going to get clarity on regulation, and once there is clarity on regulation, then I feel like these patents can come into play. That's why they're sitting on them. Because if you let's see here. Here in 2018, they had more than 50 applications filed within the same field. So that's what, 5 years ago? 5 years ago, they had over 50 applications. And going to this article, now we can see.
I don't know if it mentioned how many.
We have hundreds of patents on blockchain as a process and as a tool and as a strategy. So they've been just gaining patents. Like just in the past 5 years, they've doubled up. How many patents they have. And you think about the patents that Reggie Middleton's got, because he's got several. Craig Wright.
Craig Middleton.
Craig Middleton. I was going to try to say something different so I don't get sued.
You should have. You should have just went with Craig Middleton.
Craig White.
That's Craig White.
Shout out to Craig White has
Craig Black, bro.
He has
Craig Black. Why you gotta be white? Why can't we call him Craig Black? Come on, man.
Brack would be more
Craig
correct. Brack. Just Brack.
Craig Obama.
But yeah, that dude's got a lot of patents. And the thing, obviously, we know the power of a patent because I think we both prefer the open source ethos. But if you don't have a patent on something, then someone like Bank of America, someone like Craig Black, or any other individual could get these patents. And again, you can have patents not for the actual to use what the patents were created for, but you can create the patents just to prevent other people from being able to utilize those kind of technologies. That's going to be the once we get a little bit more clarity on regulation, it's going to be really interesting to see what Bank of America has like structured themselves out regarding these patents and what kind of control it will give them moving forward.
I wish I could highlight on my end these comments, man, while you're
Let me
talking.
go through
It's
them.
hilarious. Todd Mack said there needs to be a Craig Middleton coin. Craig
Middleton
Middleton
coin. Yeah, let me scroll
That's
down.
funny, bro. That is hilarious. Oh,
Man,
the great had a good question though for you. You want to answer that one?
Was the question up further?
Yeah, you think Elon gonna buy FTX? Bids start on July 1st. I didn't know about this. I didn't know bids started on July 1st for FTX. This is interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know he did either. I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to purchase something like FTX. It's if you're gonna do something, just create a new exchange. It doesn't make any sense.
That's where the power is. No, from a business perspective, rights, the IP, the intellectual property there, or
I feel like it's ruined, like because of all the fucking shit that FTX has been involved in.
The name FTX.
I mean, when I heard FTX 2 coming out, like relaunching, and I guess this would have something to do with it. It's the most ridiculous thing, dude.
People cringe. People, for some reason, human nature, we are attracted to that type of stuff.
Appreciate you, Manel.
Yes, thank you.
Craig Middleton, Inu. Gotta add an Inu to it. Hey, just on a side note, do you think this cage match between Musk and Zuckerberg will happen? And if it does, who do you think would win?
Huh?
You not heard about this?
No.
Supposedly, Elon Musk has challenged Mark Zuckerberg to like a cage match, and Mark Zuckerberg is like, "Tell me where, tell me when."
No, he didn't.
Mark Zuckerberg is actually like military, or he has martial arts training, and Elon is just kind of like, I think Elon said that he's like a whale. He would just lay on his victims until they submitted. I think Zuckerberg might fuck up Elon, honestly. Let me see if I can pull something up here.
Yeah, you may be right. He just looks so creepy and like pale and weak. I don't know. For charity.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't hear about this, because it's been something that's been like going on for a couple days now. Like,
wow,
Elon versus Zuckerberg.
It's gonna be
Jordan Peterson wants Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg to fight naked.
Oh God.
Dana White says the Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg cage fight is happening. Hold on a second. Let me
hold on.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
When was this though? This is 3 hours ago. So let me see if I gotta get the audio share.
Yeah,
gotta get an audio share. That'd be really fucking cool if the UFC somehow got involved with this.
Ooh, Dana White would clean up, my friend. This may be the biggest fight ever. You hear me? Ever.
Oh, that would be the biggest fight ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to go to my Chrome tab. Elon Musk. Here we go. Take a full screen.
Kung Fu. You can't win in a Kung Fu fight against someone. Kung Fu doesn't work in real life.
If somebody knows what kind of martial arts it's jujitsu. Oh, no, he's done it for more than a year. So he's done it for less than a year. I think he's actually like very much trained. Let me see here. Let me get the audio share. So we got audio. Okay.
Can we be excited about this? Is there a possibility this is really going to happen?
Well, just to give some clarification. So what he said is Mark Zuckerberg responded with "send me location," which is something that Habib Nurmagomedov says when people
pull up. Basically, that's the white man's version of pull up.
That was what "send me location" meant. And I was talking to both Elon and Mark last night. Both guys are absolutely dead serious about this.
Woo! That's cool.
Tell us why you say that.
Because they both said, yeah, we'll do it. They both want to do it. Mark Zuckerberg hit me up first and said, is he serious? And I said, I don't know. Let me ask him. I asked him and he said, yeah, I'm dead serious. Obviously and I agree with you, Harvey, this would be the biggest fight ever in the history of the world.
What I said.
Bigger than anything that's ever been done. It would break all pay-per-view records. These guys would raise, hundreds of millions of dollars for charity. And, you don't have to be a fight fan to be interested in this fight. Everybody would want to see it.
And we'd be excited.
We coming for you, nigga.
You heard it here, man. I'm surprised you didn't know about that shit, dude. It's like, to me, that's one of the coolest stories that I've heard. It actually makes me happy, something to look forward to. It's actually, it's weird. It's
bringing back masculinity, bro. This is what we need.
Celebrity death match.
Yes, classic MTV.
Like,
shout out to
for real, like to bring now that
the real one, not the clay.
That would be so much better if it was like to the death, but obviously, I don't think either one of those guys are willing to go that far. But that
I would literally pay. I've never paid for a fight, Rice. I would pay for that one.
Oh hell yeah, dude! We'd have to get like VIP boxes or something, man.
Yep.
We'd have to do it real big.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was pretty much, I think, what I was going to be sharing on today's video, and just kind of giving a little bit of a backstory about what's been happening, what's going on. What are your overall thoughts, Blood, about, let's say, the Blackrock ETF, spot ETF is approved? What do you think is going to happen on a short-term basis and long-term basis?
If approved, which I'm actually skeptical. We didn't get a chance to talk about this.
Well,
I'm not all that convinced that it will be approved right now.
Right now.
I think, yeah.
So
the markets love to do this. They run up,
hyping the market up. Because once the news goes through that they're not accepted, I'm pretty sure the market's going to.
It's going to reverse.
It's going to be like the reverse erection.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm not too. I'm about. Let me put a number on it so people understand here. I'm about 60-40. So very close to 50-50, but I'm 60-40 that it will be approved, but there's still 40% that it won't, in my opinion. But let's say they do approve it. It's going to mean very, very good news for those holding crypto in the short run. For sure.
Yeah, no, I think I think what'll happen is, like, from my opinion, if and when it does get approved, we're going to see the price go up, parabolically, fairly quick. But then I think there'll be after the initial kind of parabolic move upward, I just think it's just all going to be manipulated and crash downward. Because here's the thing that a lot of people don't put in consideration and don't think about with the macro aspect. A lot of these entities have so much money and currency and investments that they don't care about having more money, currency, and investments. They care about power.
Yeah, man, you guys are cracking me up in this chat room right now. Todd said, I hope Zuck beats the Neuralinks out of Elon.
I mean, there's so many jokes that you can make out of this.
Oh man.
What I would do, especially if it was like no holds barred, is I would get a book and I would hit Zuckerberg in the face.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah. That was really awful. That was really awful.
But we'll see, bro. I might have to do a little pirating and live stream this on Rumble if they do it, bro.
Yeah,
they might boot me off.
It'll be cool to see. I'm sure something like that. I don't know if they would do it pay-per-view. I don't know if it would be like that or not. It'd be interesting to watch. It'd be interesting to pay attention to, because I wouldn't have brought it up if I didn't think that there was actually any seriousness or validity, from what I had been hearing. Like there's way more acceptance of a cage fight between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg than an actual debate between that dude that's been challenged to debate RFK Jr. I can't remember his name, but the overweight health guy.
He backed out, right?
Well, he hasn't accepted. I don't know that he's like officially backed out, but he hasn't
I thought he
accepted.
did.
That you would think would be like more of an actual reality. This is how disconjointed our reality is, that we're, instead of like doing a real debate about something that's an important topic, you're just going to see two celebrities just duking it out because they're mad at each other. It's hilarious, man.
Yeah, it is. Well, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We're right at the 1 hour marker. A lot of activity here. We appreciate everyone.
I want to remind people, tomorrow, 1:00 p.m. here on YouTube, we're going to be streaming for about 12 minutes on YouTube, and then we're taking a conversation on Rumble. We're live streaming on both of our channels, on both YouTube and Rumble. So join us at 1:00 on YouTube and 1:15 p.m. Eastern time over on Rumble for I Hate Aliens Uncensored 5. You got anything else you want to add, my friend?
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to both of our channels, I Hate Crypto, CBTV, Crypto Blood, and Rice TVX, as well as my other channel, Rice Against the Grain. Make sure you're following us on alternative platforms such as Odyssey, Rumble, Library. Following us on our social medias. Visit cryptoblood.io and visit ricetvx.com. And until next time, I encourage you, be a blessing to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be the glitch that you want to see in this matrix. I think Andrew Tate is a glitch in the matrix. Be the change you want to see in the world.
That's going to be for another Uncensored episode 6, ladies and gents. Stay around for that one.
And until next time, I hate Tate and practice change and holla. I hate aliens.